Welcome to our pre-departure briefing for the Best of the Pacific Northwest, Columbia and Snake River cruise. The dates of our departure will be July the 10th through the 18th of 2022. This cruise is being offered in partnership with American Queen Voyages and Please Go Away Vacations. My name is Paula Oxman, and I will have the privilege of being your personal hostess throughout this itinerary. For those of you that I've not met, I'm looking forward to making new friends and traveling with old friends again as well. So let's look at some of the important things that you're probably wondering about as we approach our departure day. First of all, what are the COVID protocols? As you've been previously advised in memos, you are required to be fully vaccinated for COVID-19. It is important that you carry your vaccination cards with you throughout the trip. You may need to show those at multiple places, but for sure, when checking in to board the cruise ship, you will need to have those with you. One of the things that people usually ask is, can I just take a copy? And we would tell you that you should carry the original. Does not hurt to also have a copy of it, perhaps on your phone or something that you could show if you needed to as well. We are going to be in Spokane. That's where we fly into at our included pre-night hotel. Once we arrive there, we will go to a hospitality desk and we will all be tested for COVID. It doesn't usually take too long to get the results back. That is a complimentary test, so there won't be any cost to you whatsoever. Throughout the cruise, all public areas, as well as your cabin, the restaurants where you eat, bars, handrails, elevator handles and knobs and everything are cleaned multiple times throughout the day with an EPA approved cleanser. So they do everything they can to try to keep everyone on board safe. The crew also has the same requirements of being vaccinated and tested regularly as those of us that will be guests on board the boat. So how do the feature bonuses work? Feature bonuses, and there really are a lot of them on this particular itinerary, are things that other people are going to stand in line to purchase. They've already been purchased and prepaid for our group. So when you hear that they have opened something for sale and that might catch your attention, you don't have to be concerned about going and standing in line to do that. They're already taken care of. What is meant by a hop-on, hop-off? A hop-on, hop-off tour is a bus that has a circuit and it goes around usually about every 15, 20 minutes. Sometimes it's a little bit farther in between, but one of the cruise line steam coaches will come around. You can hop off at whichever stops you want, and you go in, spend the amount of time that you want to spend in the museum or whatever you happen to be touring, and go back out. The bus will be back by, and you hop back on and go to the next stop. One thing to keep in mind is that when you get on the bus and you get started for your hop-on adventures, it seems like the very first stop that most of the people on the bus are going to hop right off. And you can certainly do that if you want to, but you can also stay on if a lot of people get off, go to the second one or even the third one and start your circuit there, and then always get back on and then do the first stop later when there's maybe not quite so many people there. Seems to work very well. These are included in the price that you have paid, so there is not any additional cost to participate in any of these. Normally, as you board the bus, there is a map that will show you where the stops are. And if it's nice weather and the stops are kind of close together, sometimes you might even want to walk to the next stop as opposed to getting back onto the bus, but that's entirely up to you. What's really nice is if you're not particularly interested in a certain thing, you don't even have to go there, or you can go in and spend a short amount of time and move on to something that is really of interest to you. When you get your cruise documents, you're going to notice that it says there is no travel insurance included. And that's a big question that people usually call and say, why is it saying that? I thought we had insurance. Well, you do. That's another one of the features that's included in your Please Go Away Vacations cruise. The reason your documents are going to say no travel insurance is because we work with a third-party travel insurance provider, which is Travel Insured International. The reason for that is, first of all, the coverages, such things as medical, evacuation, repatriation of remains, many of those types of things have a much higher limitation than what cruise line coverages have. A second thing that's very important nowadays, and we have absolutely no reason to think in this case that this is true, but a third-party carrier also covers default of carrier. So in the unlikely event that the cruise line filed for bankruptcy, the insurance is in place to cover such things as that, where cruise line insurance would not cover that. Again, I want to emphasize that if there was any doubt or any rumors that this was the case with American Queen Voyages, we would not have sold that. So do keep that in mind. It's just that that's a benefit, but certainly nothing that we're anticipating. What is the purpose of the Please Go Away Vacations bright green stickers? The bright green stickers that are going to come in your documents, which we're expecting later this week, are strictly for the purpose of identifying your bags. When we arrive in Spokane, and those of you that are traveling with me, I'm going to assist in getting those off the luggage carousel. And there's going to be lots of them that look alike, and you may think yours is unique, but that's usually not the case. And that's the only way, without reading the name tags on every one of them that comes around, that I can identify them. So that's very important that you put that bright green sticker on that checked luggage before you check it in the airports. You're going to get more than just one for your big luggage. You're also going to get some extras. Many people like to put those on carry-ons, purses, camera bags, laptops, anything that you maybe would be setting somewhere and let it set when you got up and walked away, or you might even see something that is unattended that has a bright green sticker and you would call that to someone's attention. Many times things have been returned to their owners by virtue of those green stickers. When do I put the cruise line luggage tags on my large suitcase? The cruise line luggage tags that will be sent have a little elastic that attaches them to your bags. They normally are not really made sturdy enough to withstand the handling of the airlines. So you are not going to put that on your luggage when you leave your airport. You're going to instead put that on when you get to our hotel in Spokane, so that it's on there the next morning when your luggage is picked up. What is the purpose of the cruise line luggage tags? The cruise line luggage tags, the purpose entirely is to get that luggage to your cabin. And we'll see a sample of that here in a minute and explain to you just exactly how that works. What is meant by early seating? Cruise line offers two seatings. One is early and the other is main. Our group has requested to all be together at the same dining, and I do believe that we're at the early seating, which normally means either a 5:15 or a 5:30 seating. In the event that we're in a port and we're not back in time, there are other alternative dining venues that are also included, meaning they're not going to cost you any more to go to a different area to eat. When you get your travel documents, it's going to be in a little folder very similar to this. And inside of it, you're going to find the luggage tags that we have talked about. This one happens to be the sample we're using is for the American Queen, but we're going to have your stateroom number in that box, your booking number, your voyage date, embarkation city, pre-voyage hotel, and your name and address. And the stateroom number is how that's going to find its way from when they pick it up in Spokane to when it shows up in your stateroom on board the boat. Obviously, this one says American Queen. We're going to be on the American Empress. The large number tells the crew which deck to put it on, which kind of expedites the handling. Here's the green stickers we talked about. On the back, there are some little slits in the backing. And if you look, you can peel that off, and then you're going to place it around the handles of your luggage. And we'll show you some pictures here to kind of clarify for those of you that have not previously gotten away with us. So here is a picture of it around a handle of a carry-on bag. So peel the back off, wrap it around, and then let the ends stick to each other. The backing comes off, and then it's sticky. Another big question that we get asked frequently is, well, how big a bag can I take? So you measure the height, the length, the width one time. That cannot exceed 62 inches. As important as that is, it also cannot exceed 50 pounds. So those are two very important things for your checked luggage. Now, those of you that are flying from Wichita, we are on Southwest Airlines, which we're allowed to take our bags, the first bag and I believe a second bag, at no cost. Those of you that are departing from Kansas City, you're on two different airlines, and so the baggage fee is normally $30 or $35 each direction, and the same restrictions as far as size and weight will apply to all of those airlines as well. So here's a look at some luggage, and again, notice how the green stickers are placed around the handles. The big one is a 62-inch bag. The middle one is an 18-inch, normally used as a carry-on bag. Oftentimes, people are really good travelers and can travel for a week with that size of a bag, and then it goes in the overhead of many of the airplanes. The smaller one would be a carry-on bag that would actually fit either in the overhead or under the seat in front of you on the plane. So you are allowed to take a carry-on and a personal item onto the plane with you. So when you're carrying on the two things, one of them, your carry-on, can go in the overhead. Your personal item does need to be of a size that will fit under the seat. Rollers are very important for not only your checked bag, but your carry-on bags, if at all possible. It seems like since the pandemic, we're often not able to get SkyCaps to help us with bags like we used to be at airports. So it's important that you have wheels, if at all possible, to make it a little bit easier when you're having to get those into or out of an airport. If you've got the larger carry-ons like we looked at in a previous slide, those are kind of unhandy and awkward when you're out for day trips. So a lot of people like to take a backpack or something similar that you can put in medication, sunscreen, rain jackets, anything that you're going to need during the day when you're away from the boat for much of the day. You could have a little zipper bag and put some money and credit cards, identification, things of that nature, zip it up securely and tuck it down into your bag for safekeeping. and that's a little easier to keep in the overhead while you're riding along or carry with you than some of the other ones that we saw. The other important thing is the 311 rule. I'm sure that all of you are aware that you cannot take liquids or gels onto the plane with you in sizes that are larger than 3 ounces. All of your 3 ounce containers of liquids or gels need to go into a 1 quart Ziploc bag, and that's one per person. So 3 ounces, 1 quart bag per one person. If you take more than that or things that will not fit into that bag, the airline TSA agent, when you go through, can certainly take those away from you and most likely will. That doesn't mean that you cannot take a large bottle of shampoo or toothpaste or anything like that. You certainly can. You just need to be sure that those go into your checked luggage and don't attempt to carry those on. Should you have any medications that are liquids or gels, just be sure that they're in the prescription container and those do not create a problem when you carry those on. Temperatures can be very different from morning to evening. In the area that we're going, we would anticipate the temperatures to be sometimes maybe in the 60s up into the 70s, maybe even a day or now and then that would be in the 80s. But we would strongly suggest that you plan to dress in layers so that as the day warms up, you can remove a layer, or if it gets cooler, obviously add to so that you can maintain that comfort. When we're doing some of the feature tours and we're going by bus and we're on for a little bit more extended time, buses sometimes have a tendency to be chilly, so you might want to be sure that you've got a little something to put around you, especially if you happen to have the window seat where it blows right up on you. We're not going to be going out of the country, so you do not have to have a passport unless that's what you advised us and provided the numbers and expiration date for, and then you do need to be sure that you use the passport. If you're unsure as to whether you have told us you're using a passport or a driver's license, it's very, very important that you use what we have turned in. So if there's any question on that whatsoever, do contact us so that we can be sure that you're using exactly what we have turned in. Gratuities for everyone has been paid for your onboard account for the crew there. You might want to offer gratuity to any of the step-on guides that we would have during the trip. Any included meals, gratuities, like the first pre-night welcome to the Pacific Northwest dinner is an included meal. The gratuity will be included, so you don't need to worry about that. Unlike many companies, your Please Go Away Vacations host never accepts or expects a gratuity. We're there to assist you in any way and always possible, but not with the hopes of getting a gratuity. So that saves you quite a bit over some of the other companies out there. Current and currency on board the plane are what we're on board the boat are what we're used to. So no need for adapters, converters, or any foreign money. You're probably going to want to take some cash. Sometimes there's things that you want to pick up that you might see somewhere where it's not feasible to use a credit card for small amounts. You shouldn't have any difficulty using any of the major credit cards. And it kind of varies by your credit card whether or not you need to contact them and tell them that you're traveling. Several times in the last several months, people have called to correct me when I say you need to call your credit card company and have told me that, well, my credit card company said it's not necessary to tell us. We can tell that it's you using it and how they can be sure that I'm not sure. But my credit card company on the other hand, does want to be told, even when I'm traveling in the States. So I recommend you do that unless you're 150% sure that your credit card does not want you to notify them. So I think that's everything here, pretty much. Um, we are all going to be flying together with the exception of 3 that were flying from Kansas City. And you will get another memo that will indicate to those of you in Wichita a meeting at the Best Western for those of you that are staying the night prior to departure, where we'll answer any last minute questions and get acquainted everyone who's there. Those of you in Kansas City will meet you. You do get into Spokane about the same time that we do, and we'll give you more specific information as we get just a little bit closer about the transfer and everything to the hotel. Do be sure that you check in at least 2 hours ahead of your flight. There's a lot of cancellations and changes anymore with all of the airlines, and the sooner you get checked in, the better. Most airlines do not protect you on another flight until you are checked in. Once you're checked in, perhaps if there is any challenges, they can reroute you to still get you where you need to be in good time. So thank you very much for your time. And again, your documents should be coming very shortly. Review them, read everything through, which may answer some of your questions. And always feel free to call us. We're open Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 at 800-362-9347. Or you can email us anytime at answers@travelpleasegoaway.com, and we will get back to you just as quickly as possible. Thanks for going away.